once again welcome to the MasterClass, exploring career avenues in cybersecurity, opportunities, pathway, and future prospects. We are thrilled to know about everything, right? So we have Mr. Rahul Mishra as a mentor for today's masterclass. He is the managing director for Bluest Mettle Solutions Private Limited. So supported by Mr. Dheeraj also. So now I request Dr. Rahul Haku to give a warm welcome to our mentor, Mr. Rahul Mishra.
Thank you, sir. Very good afternoon to Honorable Dignitary, Honorable Dean Academics, faculty, staff members, team of Cybersecurity, and dear learners of Center for Distance and Online Education, Chitkara University. I am delighted to introduce the dignitary. First of all, I heartily welcome and I'm delighted to have Mr. Rahul Mishra, who is MD at Bluest Mettle Solutions Private Limited, also industry resource at MHRD Government of India in SWAM MOOCs. Mr. Rahul Mishra has extensive experience in cyber investigations, computer, digital, and mobile forensics, digital evidence analysis, end user license agreement audits, blockchain and smart contract product development for governments, private entities, higher education, and many. In addition, Mr. Rahul Mishra is certified fraud examiner, anti-fraud training and education from Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. He has also done advanced management program along with Green Belt and Six Sigma from prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Kolkata. We welcome you, sir. It is at all times stimulating to learn as regards new trends and developments in the business world. We invite our dignitary to share his experiences on exploring career avenues in cybersecurity, opportunities, pathways, and future prospects. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harku. Thank you so much, Dilbagji, Varunji, and everyone at the online department. And I welcome all our future learners also. I have a small presentation which I'll just share with all of you. After the presentation, I will take all the question and answers. During the presentation, I will share a few cases. Some I was a part of, some they were there available in public domain, and these are all big cases that have happened over the past few years. I'll just ask my colleague Dheeraj to share the presentation.
एक क्षेत्र ऐसा है जिसमें बहुत संभावनाएं पड़ी है, ऐसा मैं मानता हूं। मैं दुनिया के जितने राजनेताओं को प्रधानमंत्री बनने के बाद मिला, शायद 50 से ज्यादा से मिला, उसमें 25 से 30 राजनेताओं से मेरी जो बात हुई है वो साइबर सिक्योरिटी की उनकी चिंता। सारी दुनिया परेशान है साइबर सिक्योरिटी को लेकर के। क्या मेरा हिंदुस्तान का नौजवान दुनिया को चैन की नींद सोने के लिए साइबर सिक्योरिटी के लिए फुल प्रूफ इनोवेशंस लेकर के आ सकता है क्या? बहुत बड़ा मार्केट होगा, आप लिख करके रखिए। देख, फायरवॉल से भी काफी आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा। हमने उस स्थिति पर पहुंचना पड़ेगा और जिसके संबंध में जानते ही दुनिया को लगेगा, हाँ यार, हम चिंतित थे, अब शायद हम रास्ता। सारी दुनिया की जो ताकत है, उस ताकत को साइबर सेफ्टी की जरूरत खड़ी हुई है, साइबर सिक्योरिटी की जरूरत पड़ी है। क्या नेस्कॉम के द्वारा ऐसे एक टास्क फोर्स बना करके हम ग्लोबली क्या दे सकते हैं? ये बात सही है कि ये डायनेमिक अवस्था है। आप एक करें तो वो दूसरा करता है, आप दूसरा करें तो वो तीसरा करता है। लेकिन शायद जगत को एक बहुत बड़ी चिंता मुक्त करने का एक बहुत बड़ा काम हम कर सकते हैं।
Now, that was our Prime Minister speaking in a NASSCOM event. We at CL4, Bluest Mettle, and Chitkara University, we are both part of NASSCOM's initiative called Data Security Council of India. We actively promote data security, cybercrime education, cybercrime investigations, computer forensics, mobile forensics, and so on and so forth in almost all of our programs. Now, this was Prime Minister emphasizing on the fact almost 7 years back. This particular video is from 2017. There are other videos also which are more, how should I put it, latest in nature. I'll just move on to the next slide, please. Now, before we go ahead, you need to ask a few questions. Have you been a victim of cyber attack? Now, victim, you are only one step away. If you have received any email that says that you have won a lottery, or I am a widow and I have $15 million lying with me and I would like to give this money to you, or have you received any call from someone which says that आपकी lottery लग गई है, or very recently nowadays the fraud which is happening is from Federal Express, that you have sent a parcel somewhere outside India and it contains drugs and credit cards and all sorts of fraudulent items. So you are only one step away from being defrauded, and because you are not defrauded is a lie is a fact that you were persistent on the fact that you want to know the truth. So that is again what happens in a cyber attack or a fraud attack. Now there are obviously many recent high profile cases that have made headlines recently. Also, you need to answer a question: do you know the number of cyber attacks that happen each year? Do you understand even the economics behind it? Lastly, we would like you to answer that: have you ever considered a career in cybersecurity? Now, cybersecurity is not all techie stuff. There are a lot of stuff which is more towards the managerial aspect of cybersecurity and digital forensics. And obviously, we need to understand the demand for cybersecurity professionals across the globe. The demand is huge. Even in India, the demand as we speak right now is close to more than, in fact, 3 million professionals that are required at various stages, starting from the initial level. Obviously, that is where the maximum number is. And then once you move up, it is more of a pyramid structure. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Now, again, do you know what is the number of internet users in the world? The overall number of internet users. You can guess. If you want, you can type in your answers in the chat box. Okay, we'll go ahead. So that is 5.18 billion. The overall population of the world is close to 8 billion. So we have close to almost 65% of the world population available on internet as of today. Because we are on internet, we are prone to get into cyber attacks, we are prone to get fraud attacks. Now, what is the number of internet users in India? This is slightly an old data, almost an year back. However, it will help us understand where we are. Roughly 60% of the India's population, 833 million. Now, what are the number of attacks that happen every year? 4.8 billion cyber attacks, which means one person gets so one out of two they get attacked through cyber attacks. What is the most common form of cyber attack? Phishing is the most common form of cyber attack. Later in the presentation, we'll touch upon what is phishing and how to avoid it. And how much do companies invest in cybersecurity? Global spend is around 215 billion US dollars. This is set to touch 300 billion US dollars by 2030, over next 6 years. Now, this is what happens over internet every minute. This was not, no one thought of this 20 years back while you guys were born or we were like really young. So 241 million emails are sent every minute. More than 18 million text messages are sent every year. More than 2.4 million Google searches happen. So many app downloads, more than 3 million photos are created. Almost 7 million of emojis are sent. Then there are messages related to Slack, messages related to Facebook accounts removed. 6.3 million of total Zoom meeting happen online. We have data available only from Zoom. And almost 700,000 of videos being watched every year in internet. This is last year's data. This year is yet to finish. So a lot of things are happening at different level, whether people are sending messages, whether people are receiving messages, whether people are watching videos, whether people are watching doing meetings, whether uploading, downloading, so much of stuff happening in 1 minute over internet. Next slide, please. Now, what are we going to discuss here is who we are. A word from our honorable PM. We will also show his latest video. The current stats related to cybercrime, overview of cyber attacks, a few case studies that we will be discussing, the demand. We try and understand the demand for cybersecurity and the important skill sets which are required in the career in cybersecurity, and naturally the career path also. Now, my name is Rahul Mishra, as sir told me. I'm in my corporate circle, I'm known as Metal. I'm managing director of Bluest Mettle Solutions Private Limited. That's our website, cl4.com. I'm an entrepreneur for over 18 years now. I am honorary director of strategic initiatives in cybersecurity at Chitkara University. I'm a subject matter expert for Swayam MOOCs. MOOCs is a massive open online courses. This was one of the dream projects of our honorable Prime Minister once he came into power. I have worked with various law enforcement agencies across multiple investigation, starting with Pune Police, Mumbai Police, Central Bureau of Investigation, GST Intelligence. I have worked with a few military and other national level investigation agencies also. We have solved many cases. I have been to court as expert witness. I have been recognized by Government of Maharashtra for my contribution in number of murder cases, share trading frauds. I've been there, done it all. Thank you. And next slide, please. Now, this is the cybercrime stats. This has come from National Crime Records Bureau from Government of India. So if you see right now, where are we sitting right now? We are sitting in Punjab. So the number that is coming from Punjab, because Punjab being a smaller state in terms of population, however, you see the maximum number of crimes, cyber crimes that happen. This comes from state of Telangana, wherein the maximum number of crime happens. This is followed by Uttar Pradesh. Naturally, Uttar Pradesh being the most popular state from our country, a lot of cyber crimes are reported from there. And then comes Karnataka, Maharashtra, again states where the penetration of computer, the penetration of mobile phone and internet, that is huge. So as the penetration increases, the crime increases. You can see this from the cyber crime stats. Next slide, please. Now, we will understand the type of common cyber attacks that takes place. Now, while we started the presentation, I mentioned we will be discussing a few common cyber attacks. These included phishing, wishing, smishing, and so on and so forth. A lot of frauds that are happening around. They are all demarcated and classified under different segments. Next slide, please. Dirish, can you just run the video, please?
किसने कहा आपकी लॉटरी नहीं लग सकती? पिछले महीने ही 5,000 लोगों ने जीता है 10 लाख तक का कैश प्राइज। इस लिंक पे अभी क्लिक करें। ऐसे ही ललचाते हैं स्कैमर्स। 2 चीजों का ध्यान रखें, किसी भी अनजान लिंक पे क्लिक ना करें और अपनी बैंक डिटेल्स शेयर ना करें। इंटरनेट सेफ्टी के लिए रहो 2 कदम आगे। लॉग ऑन टू गूगल सेफ्टी सेंटर।
Now, there were various promotional videos which were done by celebrities on behalf of Google Safety Center. This has been done over the last 2 years, just after COVID. This was done to bring in awareness amongst people who receive message, who receive WhatsApp messages, text messages, and different kind of stuff, and they click on these links, they share their bank information, and they lose money. This is very common. This is called phishing attack. This is the most common type of attack, and starting from uh, you can say a fraud of say 100 rupees to banks who have lost, banks themselves have lost more than $11 million in different frauds in phishing attack itself. Now, next kind of the fraud is app based loan. Now, most of these app based loan companies, they are Chinese companies. They will ask, they will tell you that we will give you loan, and they will give you instant loan, say 1 lakh rupees. Typically they will give you micro loan less than, between 50,000 to 1 lakh, and the moment you take the loan, they will ask you to give them some permission. Now these permission will give them access, give them the access to your contacts and a few other stuff that they can uh, get remotely into your mobile phone. Once you take the loan, they will harass you. The amount will always increase, the amount will never decrease. Now because they have access to your phone which you have given, they will call your near and dear ones. They will tell that yes, this person has taken loan and he's not returning our loan, why don't you send them? Or if you have sent, if you have sorry, if you have saved number in your mobile phone, say mom, dad, father, mother, so they will call them and they will say that your son has taken loan, your daughter has taken loan, they are not returning our loan, why aren't they returning our loan? We will file police complaint against them, and so on and so forth. Now, they are not RBI governed, they are not governed by Reserve Bank of India as per maybe an NBFC or a regular scheduled bank. It has been not done in such manner. But because they don't follow the rules and they do it in a manner wherein you have given them the permission to have data from your mobile phone, they do it in this manner. Up, there are instances, there are videos available online on YouTube, there are series available on Netflix wherein people committed even suicide because they were so much harassed by these people. Next slide, please.
अपना घर बनाने का सपना कहीं सपना ना रह जाए, इसलिए हम दे रहे हैं होम लोन्स विदाउट एनी इंटरेस्ट। अभी इस लिंक पर क्लिक कीजिए। ऐसे बेवकूफ बनाते हैं स्कैमर्स, इसीलिए 2 बातों का ध्यान रखें। अनजान लिंक पे कभी क्लिक ना करें और बैंक डिटेल्स कभी शेयर ना करें। इंटरनेट सेफ्टी के लिए रहो 2 कदम आगे। लॉग ऑन टू गूगल सेफ्टी सेंटर।
Now, again, this was an initiative by Google Safety Center. We, along with Google Safety Center, we have also given a lot of ideas, and we always try and promote the basic stuff, which means don't click on unknown links, which means don't share your banking details or any other relevant details. Now, till a few years back, a lot of people were getting calls. Voice will be Amitabh Bachchan's voice, and then there was a KBC scam that you have won this much lottery, 25 lakhs, 1 crore, 50 crore, and so on and so forth. They will also give you a lottery number which you can encash by going on to a bank and so on and so forth. However, you will have to pay a processing fee. Now, wherever this processing fee comes into a lottery kind of scam, that itself is a big red flag, which means you need not to, आपको पैसा कुछ नहीं देना है. Lottery will not ask you for money, and lottery ऐसे लगती भी नहीं है. However, this was a very prominent this thing. Now, all these scams, they have a very short shelf life. For example, KBC scam आया and it went up and people were losing a lot of money, and naturally there were a lot of police complaints, and when police pressurized and they publicized, they try and promote, so वो subside हो गया, so वो curve ऊपर जाके नीचे आ गया. Then again there are phishing, then there are wishing. So right now जैसे अभी courier का scam चल रहा है, मैंने बताया था कि you will receive a call from Federal Express. You will also say कि आपका एक parcel जो आपने foreign भेजा था, it has drugs, it has multiple credit cards and some stuff. So वो parcel मुंबई पुलिस ने और कोलकाता पुलिस ने और some पुलिस ने पकड़ लिया है. And I will arrange a Skype call with Mumbai police. Now on that Skype call, उनकी जो ID रहेगी वो मुंबई पुलिस लिखा रहेगा. There will be a tricolor at the backdrop. पीछे एक झंडा लगा रहेगा इंडिया का. आगे एक पुलिस वाला full dress में बैठा रहेगा, and he will ask questions, and he'll keep on asking questions for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and at the end of the day they will say कि you pay us this much and we will solve the case, or you will have to come to this particular police station. So हमको आपसे आगे पूछताछ करना है. There is the latest one अभी, and whenever the call will be transferred, in background you will hear music from FedEx that Federal Express is the correct courier company and the right courier company, and so on and so forth, just to make sure that you are more convinced that this is a correct call and not a fraud call. Now, because FedEx is already doing a lot of promotion, FedEx, Blue Dart, all of them are doing a lot of promotion in via SMS, via uh, paper ads, that these are all frauds. So ये जो fraud है, इसका भी shelf life ऊपर जाके नीचे आ जाएगा, and it will subside. But scammers will always find a new way. Now, आपको हमेशा bottom line, you need to understand the bottom line. Whenever anyone asks you for money, why a scam happens, what is the motive behind fraud? The motive behind fraud is, in my experience, 99% is because of money. So someone wants your money. 1% is someone wants to settle score, someone wants to take revenge, something like that. However, that happens very little, because this requires time, money, energy, efforts. So people try and stick to the money part, wherein the 99% people will try and defraud you of your money. Next slide, please.
मार्केट में 1 किलो मैंगो मिलता है 100 रुपए में, लेकिन अब आपको मिल सकता है 10 किलो लंगड़ा, दशहरी, तोतापुरी सिर्फ 299 रुपए में. इस लिंक पर अभी ऑर्डर करें. ऐसी स्कीमें बनाते हैं स्कैमर्स. आप बस 2 चीजों का ध्यान रखें. किसी अनजान लिंक पर क्लिक ना करें और अपनी बैंक डिटेल्स कभी शेयर ना करें. इंटरनेट सेफ्टी के लिए रहो 2 कदम आगे. लॉग ऑन टू गूगल सेफ्टी सेंटर.
Now again, the emphasis is the same, that don't click on any link which is unknown. Don't try and install anything on your mobile phone or a laptop which is incorrect, which you do not know, which you do not understand. And don't in real world we don't go to any places which are unknown. हम किसी ऐसी जगह नहीं जाते जो अननोन है, जो अनसेफ है. सो इवन इन द रेल्म ऑफ इंटरनेट आपको किसी भी अननोन जगह नहीं जाना है. एनीथिंग विच इज नॉट नोन टू यू, any place which is not making sense, any conversation or any discussion or anything which looks too good to be true is actually not true. So we need not to venture there. Now, what is phishing? Phishing is the most common type, one of the oldest and the most common type of attack, I would say, which is there in existence. In phishing, what happens is you will receive an email that someone passed away and someone has left, say, $15 million rupees for you, and we would like to give it to you, and so on and so forth. So why don't you please click on the following links and give your details. The link will take you to a phishing website. They'll try and either get access to your laptop or mobile phone, wherever you have logged in from, and also try and ask you either for some money so that this document can be transferred to you, or they can try and ask you for your banking details so that they can transfer money to you. Now please understand, if someone has to transfer money to you, they don't need your banking details, they just need your maybe account and password. Now if anything of that sort is happening, so it is a red flag. So you need not to click on those links, and please be aware that this is something wrong. Next slide, please.
बेटा आज घर पे अकेली हो क्या?
श्वेता मैम, आज घर में अकेली हो ना?
दीदी आज अकेले हैं क्या?
अरे मैडम
हर एक फ्रेंड जरूरी नहीं होता है। सावधानी से अपनी जानकारी सोशल मीडिया पर अपलोड कीजिए, साइबर क्राइम को रोकिए।
Now that was former Joint Commissioner of Police Javed. We were part of the intellectual input session for this particular video. Now, what Javed is emphasizing, or what we are emphasizing, SBI or any bank, all the banks who were part of it, what we were emphasizing is that please don't share information about your whereabouts online. अभी क्या होता है, से आप एक ऑटो रिक्शा में कहीं ट्रैवल कर रहे हो, ट्रैवलिंग इन एन ऑटो रिक्शा, you will not tell the auto rickshaw driver that you will be alone tonight, or you are going to some party tonight, so no one will be at home tomorrow. Specifically when we talk about the realm of internet, you have to follow the same protocol. आपको Facebook पर या Instagram पर या even on your WhatsApp status, you need not to upload when are you going to be alone, or when are you going to travel, or when your parents will not be there and you will be alone at home, or when no one will be at home and all of you will be traveling and taking a trip to Goa. It is well documented. पीछे कई बार ऐसा हुआ है. It was documented in newspapers across news. There were different news wherein the perpetrators, जो चोर थे, जो डकैत थे, they got the information from social media that people will be traveling for their holidays or some kind of off for 1 day, 2 day. They tracked the home of those people and they actually robbed them, which means because the information is available in public domain, whatever you put on internet, it is there forever. However, your friends are privy to those information. आप Instagram पे डालते हो, आप WhatsApp status पे डालते हो, you put it on Facebook. This information is not required. अगर आपको इतना जरूरी लग रहा है information put on करना, so you can put in a delayed information. You will not get the instant gratification जो आपको मिलता है. However, you will still pass on the information, but please don't put information on the go, because you don't know where your information is traveling to and who is going to use it and how are they going to use it. Next slide, please. Now, again, coming to the information part, there was this LinkedIn data breach that happened, and it has affected 700 million users, and this happened in 2013. Now 2013 is almost 10 years back. However, what happens in a data breach, हम सुनते हैं कि इंडियन गवर्नमेंट का डेटा ब्रीच हो गया या लिंक्डइन का डेटा ब्रीच हो गया. Yahoo also had a data breach and almost 3 billion user accounts were stolen and affected. Now, ये data breach जब भी होता है, how are you affected? First, that आपका user ID is available on dark web to for sale. Second, your emails are available on dark web for sale. ये email जो data breach से मिलते हैं, ये dark web पर जाते हैं, perpetrators buy them and then they send you the phishing email. In some cases, till a few years back, right now, recently the technology has changed, but till a few years back, even the passwords were stored in normal text. Now the passwords are stored in an encrypted format. However, till a few years back, even the passwords were stored in simple text format. So aapka LinkedIn ka, for example, user, the email and the password, if they are breached, so they have access to your account. Similarly, if they have access to your Yahoo email and password, they have access to your email account and they can access, they can seal information. They will have the names, they will have the phone numbers, they will have a lot of information wherein they can profile you. And जब आपके साथ fraud करेंगे, so they can do it in a more informed and more educated manner because they have some information about you. Next slide, please. Now, there was an Equifax data breach that happened in 2017, and 143 million user data was stored. Now, that happened because there was some vulnerability in the website, and they stole the information, including names, first name, last name, addresses, social security numbers, Aadhaar numbers, birth dates. So if I have your email, if I have your date of birth, if I have your first name, last name, I can go onto a lot of websites and can find a lot of other information about you. Similarly, in 2022, there was a leak in the Aadhaar database, and almost 1.1 billion Indian citizens का data leak हो गया था, which also included biometrics, your fingerprints, your iris scans, your addresses, your telephone numbers, first name, last name, your address, किस नंबर से वो आधार नंबर लिंक्ड है, किस मोबाइल नंबर से वो आधार नंबर लिंक्ड है, that also happened. Because they don't have access to your mobile phone, which is one last thing that they have not access to. So abhi tak you are one step away from fraud. That's why they send you the phishing SMS. They want you to click on it. They want access to your phones. For example, in a lot of Android phones, you can install third-party apps which are not available on App Store. So आप एक APK डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. APK is like an exe for a mobile phone which is on Android. Once you will install that APK, you're first compromising on the security architecture of your mobile phone. Second, you are giving access of your mobile phone to people who should not have access to the info. Third, once you give access, they will also have instant access to your SMSs, wherein you may receive OTPs, you may receive some passwords, you may receive some other sensitive information. Next slide, please. Now, these are some excerpts from the different news agencies, and they focus on they emphasize on the fact that there is cybersecurity market, there is cybersecurity jobs which are available in market in different verticals. Now, cybersecurity is not a standalone vertical. Please understand that if I'm running a hospital, I need cybersecurity practitioners. If I'm running an education venture, for example, Chitkara University, they need cybersecurity for their students, for their entire infrastructure, IT infrastructure. If I'm running a bank, banks are the BFSI, the banking, financial services, and insurance sector is the biggest and always the best target for all the fraudsters and imposters and attackers. So cybersecurity जो market है, जो demand है, that is not restricted to only IT companies and only the IT service providers and IT product creators. They are required across the board, even if the industry is not directly related to cyber or even IT. For example, I gave you recent example of Chitkara University or banking services, financial services, insurance, insurtech, fintech, all these companies, your Domino's Pizza, everyone needs cybersecurity. Next slide, please. Now, what are the different skill set? What are the different domains in cybersecurity? Naturally, everyone starts as a fresher. They try and understand. Now, please understand, I am a mechanical engineer. I came into cyber almost 5 to 7 years after I completed my engineering. Then, because I had keen interest in this, I learned on my own and I started my career, and now I have made my a name for myself in the market. However, there are various verticals inside cybersecurity and digital forensics wherein you can make a career for yourself. You can spend your entire career and retire from it. We'll start with controls and frameworks. Now, what are controls? Controls are, we're talking about access controls and frameworks. Who is allowed to do and what? Who has access to and what? Who can see what and what he can't see? Now, these are the kind of information that you need to allow. For example, आपके घर में वॉचमैन है. Now, watchman is at the gate. Is he allowed to come inside? In a lot of companies or homes also, they are not allowed to come inside. They will be at gate. So that is one form of access control. You may have another form of access control at the door of your house. It can be electronic, it can be manual. Once you come inside, obviously there may be some people who will have access to even the safe inside your home. So they have full access control. Similarly, there are basis roles and responsibilities. The access controls and frameworks are defined in cybersecurity. Then there are network security metrics. Then there is cybersecurity legal compliance. Now, India right now, we have passed our general data privacy law. It'll become a law in once the government comes back in power. It will become a law. Then there are security audits. Now, security audits are regularly. It's like जैसे आप अपना health checkup कराते हैं. It's like a preemptive health checkup. Very similar is security audits, wherein you find out the vulnerabilities in your system and how to foolproof the system so that you are one step ahead of the attackers. Then there is encryption. Encryption is slightly technical because you change your plain text or you change your plain stuff into encrypted stuff. Then there is risk management. Risk management is a big business. Basis your risk management score, your insurance companies will decide how much premium you're going to pay or how much premium you're not going to pay, how much safe you are, how much unsafe you are. Your ratings will depend on it, various ratings under which you get loans and so on and so forth. Then there are a lot of emerging trends in cybersecurity. For example, drone forensics. Now, drone was unheard of till 5 6 years back. However, right now Russia has an entire division dedicated for drones. China has an entire division dedicated to drones and rockets. Now, how can you stop them while they are in air? You can't always hit them with a missile. It's like killing an ant with a missile. So you need slightly inexpensive solutions. So there are new technology always available. Starting with there is drone, there is hardware. We have access to USB pen drives. If I put that pen drive in your laptop, in 3 seconds, plain 3 seconds, it sucks the electrical, it throws back the entire electrical, and it will burn your motherboard. So ऐसा हार्डवेयर है कि अगर मैं आपके लैपटॉप में लगा दूं, आपके हार्डवेयर में लगा दूं, आपके स्मार्ट टीवी में लगा दूं, it will burn the motherboard. It has those capabilities. So you need to understand that you need to be one step ahead of the attackers. Next slide, please. Now let us understand the major domains in the cybersecurity. We have for ease of this presentation, we have divided them in 8 different parts. So first is risk management. Risk management is a management part on how risky you are, how much effort you need to put in to make sure you are safe. If you are more at risk, which means you will have to invest more in your security. If you are less at risk, which means you have already invested in your security. Then BCP DR management, which means business continuity planning and disaster recovery management. So which means if something happens, so if you have an office, say Infosys has an office in Bangalore. Now, if tomorrow Bangalore में earthquake आता है and all the facilities of Infosys are destroyed, Then they have a BCP, Business Continuity Planning Facility, 1,000 people BCP facility available in Mysore. If all, like for example, Amazon, all your data is stored in Amazon Web Servers, AWS. Amazon has copied whatever information they have available in their server farms in US. They have copied the same information in their server farms in Iceland also, which means there is a copy available in Iceland. So if something happens in US, there is copy available in Iceland. Then there is asset security. Now we are talking about digital assets here. Digital assets can be your intellectual property, it can be your blockchain, it can be even your cryptocurrencies for that matter. Then your SOC operations, security operations. So SOC is mainly, it is used in BFSI, banking, financial services and insurance. Now how SOC happens is that you need to understand that once you log into your application, into your mobile application, your banking mobile application, it runs through your account. If you want to do any kind of transaction, you do that transaction. Those entire things are monitored in SOC operations for banks. Then there is physical security management. Now what is physical security management is you need to physically secure your digital infrastructure. Again, it happens through access management. Who has access to what, who has access to which place. This is all part of security management. Then there is NetSec management, network security management, a copy of your physical security, however how it is done online. Then comes incident management. Now digital forensics is a part of incident management. If this is part of investigation, if any incident that takes place, if any breach that happens, if any, even if a murder, if that happens, then there is always a digital forensics that comes into place. They will try and see how it happens, how it can be avoided in future, and they will also investigate on how to go about it right now to find out the culprit and bring them to justice. Last and not the least is security audit. Now what is security audit? As I said, you need to do preemptive audits. You need to do regular audits of your place, of your networks, of the digital infrastructure that you have in place, even if you are completely online, even if you are, say, completely on AWS or GoDaddy or any kind of web services for that matter. You need to regularly do audits of your place. EULA also audits also, and this is very classic of universities and students, that they download software which they can't use. So they use illegal software. आपको शायद सभी ने कभी ना कभी उनके टेक्निकल मेंटर्स ये सिखाते हैं, हाँ एक सॉफ्टवेयर डाउनलोड करो, हाँ क्लिक ऑन नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट, ओके हाँ इंस्टॉल हो गया. When you do that next, you say yes to EULA, which is end user license agreement. You say yes that I will not use a pirated copy. You say yes if I will not use an educational license for production of professional services, and so on and so forth. So whenever you do that, अगर आप उसको breach करते हो, so that's a serious breach of law, and obviously law will take its own course. It is very tough nowadays to even use pirated software. However, people still do it, and they tend to pay for it hefty in a hefty manner later on. Next slide, please. Now, these are various job levels that are defined. There is obviously entry level, there is a mid level, and there is a leadership level. The leader in any cybersecurity domain is CISO, which is Chief Information Security Officer. Now, CISOs, again coming, time and again I'll give you examples for BFSI, which is banking, financial services, and insurance sectors. Now, banks are they have mandate to recruit separate CISOs. A CISO will have his own team, which is into security, which will manage the vendor. They will develop the in-house products. They will deploy the products. They will test the products and services. Naturally, then there is a framework around it, which includes access controls, which includes preemptive security, which includes business continuity planning, disaster recovery, and so on and so forth. But everyone starts as an intern. Even I started as an intern. That is where you learn the ropes, how to go about it. Slowly you manage a team, and that is where the work gets divided. If you're a team leader and if you go in those kind of positions which are more technical in nature, or you can get into the managerial side of cybersecurity, which is to manage the products or services. Next slide, please. Now, this is one thing we ask everyone to do it, whether you're working with us or not. However, we advise and tell everyone to have some emphasis on this. Dheeraj, one more, yeah. So I usually start with LinkedIn. I have found LinkedIn as a brilliant tool to first connect with people, and second to put your words across. If you're starting as a fresher, it is a great tool to look for jobs, because LinkedIn is where you find serious players and serious job opportunities, and you get connected to a lot of good people who try and emphasize on what is happening in corporate right now. Then there is Twitter, which means X. Now on Twitter, you try and put in whatever you have done. If you want to flaunt that you have done this certificate recently, I would always urge and request to put it on Twitter, because that is the right platform to do it. Thirdly, we always encourage people to go to different conferences, different seminars, symposiums, meetups, to meet like-minded people from your domain. So if it is a cybersecurity conference or meetup that is happening, you're going to meet like-minded people from that domain. Lastly, we always ask students to write articles, even working professionals for that matter, to write articles and blogs, to share their experience on whatever you have done. Once you share that, you will also feel happy about the fact that you have contributed something, because you have shared your experience, and you have written it, you have penned it down. You will feel good about it. You will because you have documented it, you have put it over public domain, and a lot of people may learn from it. A recent example is one of my cousins. His phone stopped working, so he went to the Airtel showroom and he said that please change mera sim change kar do, this sim card is not working. So the person, he gave him his SIM card. I don't know whether you guys are aware of the rule or not, but in first 24 hours, there is no SMS that comes in, and there is no SMS that can go out. That is to avoid fraud. He took, because my cousin's fingerprint was not working, so he took the iris scan of my cousin and issued a SIM card to him. However, before that, he issued, while doing this process, he also issued an eSIM to himself. My cousin went away, and because SMS aata nahi hai first 24 hours, then his second SIM got activated in another day. In between, through that eSIM, my cousin lost almost 1 lakh rupees. Now that 1 lakh rupees he lost is because jo bhi unke message aa rahe the, it was coming to that particular eSIM, and that too also after 24 hours. So he got to know this after a week. He filed police complaint. He ran from pillar to post. So to cut the long thing short, the money cannot be recovered. Usually in these cases, the money cannot be recovered. He lost the money. No fault of his. He went to the showroom. He went to the right person. He went to the right company. He took the right SIM card. Everything was right. Still, he lost the money. He did not click any link. Still, he lost the money. So again, as I said, you need to be vigilant. You need to be one step ahead of attackers, and you need to make sure what is happening around you. Next slide, please. Now, I'll just touch on the program that we are offering in association with Chitkara University. It's an MBA in cybersecurity. It is a UGC approved program. Now, most of the candidates who are interviewed by us or our partners, we work very closely with brands like Tata Steel Limited, Quick Heal Technologies Limited, Siemens Digital Industries Software Limited, KPN Telecom Limited, and so on and so forth. They see that the candidates are educated, however, they are not employable because they have almost no understanding of the product, the education that they had. And that happened because they had almost no practical experience, and obviously we don't emphasize on internships and short-term programs that companies expect that you do before you finish your degree. Largely also because people are not trained in cybersecurity. What they learn in cybersecurity is more theoretical and less of practical in nature, and that's why they are also not industry ready with even basic cybersecurity level jobs. So what we try and emphasize here is more on the practical aspect of the cybersecurity and digital forensics front, and we also bring in a lot of subject matter experts. So these are not teachers, these trainers are practitioners who practice cybersecurity and digital forensics. For example, someone like me, for cyber laws, there is a lawyer who is a practicing lawyer, and she is a cyber lawyer. She goes to court, so she is going to be your trainer for cyber law. My colleague Dheeraj is a practitioner for vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So he does this day in day out for corporate. This is our bread and butter. So he will be teaching you about vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So this will naturally add value. Next slide, please. Now, these are the broad topics that we will be covering in the MBA in cybersecurity. We'll start with information systems and data security. Comes to cybercrime management in business, that will be covered by me. Then there is network security matrices, social media and e-commerce security, impact of cryptography in business. Now, cryptography is where you use encryption. It's a very vast field. You can spend your entire career in it. Next slide, please. Cybersecurity legal compliance, this is where we are going to cover cyber laws. The cyber laws right now is Indian penal code. In a few months it will be changed into Bharatiya Vidhan Sanhita. We are going to touch base on that. Then there is vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. There is risk management. For risk management, we intend to bring in a subject matter expert who is global head for risk for a very big bank. Then there is security audit policies and guidelines. Here again, we intend to bring in a subject matter expert who is on the policy side of cybersecurity. Then there is data privacy and management, and there is business continuity planning and disaster recovery.